All right, welcome to the sideshow. Believe it or not, this is a spoiler alert.
What? Spoiler alert. Also, by the way, remember we talked about dumb faces? So as we're going into our intro, I was like, so it should be really great. Hi! Oh my God, I'm so excited about this episode. And thanks for joining us, Nick. Yeah, spoilers? What? A Stranger Things show with spoilers? So, fair warning, I'm not even going to do our introductions. I'm going to say big spoiler alert. If you have not watched through the entire, why are people look at this? I have phone calls coming through. They're already mad. I kid you not. If you have not finished all of Stranger Things, like all the way through episode 9, please, bye-bye. We love you, but bye-bye. Or stay with us and hang, but like also don't give us crap if you learned something you didn't necessarily want to learn or didn't see all over social media.
Exactly.
Fair?
Yep.
Fair.
So proceed with caution. But with that being said, hi everybody, welcome to the sideshow. As you can see, there are 3 of us tonight, which is awesome. I am Heather. I have my beautiful co-host Willow Schuyler, and directly below us on the other side of the world in Italy, you have DJ Nick coming at you.
Hey guys, great to be back and really looking forward to this episode for sure.
Are you?
Yes, indeedy.
We don't talk about Stranger Things off camera at all between the 3 of us.
Not at all.
Wait, Stranger Things? I don't know what that is. So, guys, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know about y'all, but how did you guys find your love for Stranger Things?
I started watching it when like everybody else was talking about it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. You know,
peer pressure. Yeah. Nick.
Well, when it came to me, funnily enough, I was amongst the first. I think I was actually the first one to kind of watch it within my group of friends because I was just kind of messing around on Netflix and looking for a show to watch. And this kind of popped up. I liked the font because obviously reminded me, being a big fan of Stephen King, you know, it reminded me of the Stephen King novels that I have, obviously. Yeah. And so I was like, this looks like my kind of show. And so I popped it on and immediately fell in love with it and started spreading the word amongst my group of friends. Like, oh, yeah, we'll check it out and stuff. And then like 5 weeks later, they start writing this little group we have on WhatsApp going, oh, my God, Stranger Things is the best thing ever. I'm like, I bloody told you 5 bloody weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of went like, all right, it kind of looks like 8mm. Like, it looks really kind of cool, a little bit retro. Also, if y'all hear the thunder in the background, that is not a special effect. That is Florida summer outside my window. And if I jump randomly, that is not coming to get me, except that would be kind of weird. But it's lightning. So if I just, which has happened, it's a thing. So just get used to it.
You pride yourself on your special effects, on your practical effects.
I do. I mean, I paid a lot of money to Mother Nature to get the thunder and lightning going while I'm sitting here in the house. I am still soaked to the bone. Like, I got a special shirt, adopt a demo dog. Listen to me.
A demo
dog. My family would be very proud of me. But I went to Magic Kingdom for a little bit and it was pouring rain. And but I got lots of compliments on the shirt. So
yay.
But yeah, I fell in love with the show. You know, at first I was like, okay, if you all know, you watch a show, you like have a stroll that you kind of like scroll on your phone and you like have something on in the background.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that's how Stranger Things started off to me, was a show that I would just kind of, okay. Oh yeah, okay. Eleven's like doing this weird thing, her nose is bleeding. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. So it very quickly made me put my phone down, which to me, that's important. And I found throughout the seasons that the special effects have gotten really good. The cinematography of it has been impeccable. How could you not like I mean, let's be real here. Winona Ryder, like, come on.
It was nice to see her come back, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with her aesthetic from Beetlejuice. Like, come on. And she kind of has carried around that like spooky girl thing, and I love her for it.
Mhm.
And we've seen a lot of fun like 80s stars pop through.
Yeah. And
Um,
also, it gave David Harbour a whole new career.
I love him so much.
Aside from the
I mean,
terrible Hellboy movie, but it gave him definitely a few
Can we talk
opportunities.
about how awesome it is to see that guy, like that actor, go from like a chunky boy to like buff as
I was
hell?
gonna say he had a glow up this season. Like, we'll just hop into it. I don't even care. We don't need to talk storyline. Let's talk David Harbour for a hot minute. There is a scene where all of a sudden clothes are flying and you're in the middle of freezing cold Alaska, but like, dude is ripped. And I just went,
Where did his beard go?
I guess that's what happened. That's what happens when you're a prisoner in the Soviet gulag for so long.
Well, and he's so
It will do
humble
that to
about
you.
it. Oh, I would imagine so.
Since you're like eating nothing and having only the stuff you're doing is probably working out.
Yeah, unless you're trying to be thrown into the pit with the demos and then you get like a giant meal and get fattened up. But let's talk about him. He had this like moment, and then I've been watching like lots of interviews and stuff with him in it, and he still doesn't see himself like that, and like he's totally like, oh no, like it's just me, and like, oh yeah, like it's just how I am. And I'm going, that takes a lot. That takes a lot to go from like solid thick dude to like superhero essentially.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. I mean,
it's kind
good
of
for
like
him.
reminiscent of Chris Pratt's whole thing, where it's like he went from being like chunky nerdy man to, you know,
I love him so much.
Again, buff as hell.
Buff as hell.
It's a shame. It's a shame that he couldn't have done that for Black Widow, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why? It was but why? Why do you need that for Black Widow?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm saying because being an ex-superhero, they could. I'm not saying be super buff, but you know, since he'd also been in prison, he probably would have been working out a lot, not have a beard.
But he had that solid presence too.
Oh no, totally. I mean, I'm not dissing the act. I'm dissing
his actor.
the fact of,
his character was supposed to have like a bad back and all that. So
yeah.
But I would think you'd kind of have like the prison bod, is what I was kind of saying, being you know locked up for so long.
So what you're saying is, if we all want to get super ripped and buff, we just need to go to jail.
Oh sure, totally.
I have like a whole list of things like we could do to like go to jail. Anybody want to like?
Or you know what? Or you do
like,
something
and then
wrong
still get out. Like not what?
Or you do something wrong in Russia and you get deported to Siberia. That'll get you ripped.
I would love to see. I'm Russian. I would love to be able to go to Russia, but that'll never happen. Not in my lifetime.
You never know.
So sad. But
and here I am, Ukrainian. I'd have to fight against you. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, so well, you say it, but where my family is from in Odessa, which is the Black Sea, it started off as Russia. It's part of Ukraine. So there's no fighting. we're all the same. Everybody love each other. Okay. So let's get back to Stranger Things. So are there any key moments for you guys in season 1 that reflects the season 4? Or are there really just any hot spots that you're going, you know what, this is a deciding factor for me. This is a defining moment of what Stranger Things means to me, or why you love it even more? Like, are there points in the storyline where you're just like, this is it?
I mean, I think it's very much the sum of its parts which make it such a great show, in the sense that, you know, I think the Duffer Brothers also, you know, now have made them a name for themselves since this show. And now they're going to be working with the likes of Steven Spielberg and what have you. So
and the spinoffs for the Talisman, I'm so excited.
Exactly, which is going to be with both Stephen King and Steven Spielberg. So it's insane where they've gotten to at this point. But to me, I think it's very much like the sum of the parts, in the sense the casting was spot on. The characters were there was great character development. I mean, of course, being very nostalgic of the 80s. Granted, I was, should we say, sentient in the 90s because I was born in 82. So I couldn't really have that many memories about the 80s. But
I think all three of us were born in the same year, right, Willow?
82, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we would really kind of sort of, as I said, kind of come into our own, have more, should we say, awareness of our surroundings in the 90s. But that said, That's it. I
Born in the
love the
80s,
whole.
raised in the 90s, but a lot of nostalgia for the 80s.
Oh yeah, and then I mean the music was awesome. It was just everything was so well, just taken care of. And what's really weird is I literally fell in love with the creatures. That's what because I'm very much a creature guy. And I actually had
You're a creature. It's fine.
exactly. I also had a my Guillermo del Toro moment in this last
Ooh,
season.
say it again.
Yes.
Say it again.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah.
But so I had that moment when I literally saw beauty within the beast because that's what his thing is with the
Yes.
Demogorgons. I was like, I want to adopt a Demogorgon now. It might, it's like
Adopt a demo dog. Okay.
exactly, I'd like because for the longest time I'm like I want to
Yes.
adopt a Velociraptor and a Demogorgon, and so that's what I want to have, and and
See, with me, it would have been like a hellhound.
yeah. So the Demogorgons
Yeah.
definitely did it for me, and
But what
especially this
about
last season.
a bat?
Of course, well, bats are awesome. I did have a pet raven for a time, but
You had a pet like in real life?
I had
Come
a pet
on,
raven in real life. Yes.
Call it. You had a real raven in real life?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Name was Edgar. No surprise.
Oh, that's funny.
This is why we're friends. And did Celine eat him?
No, Celine actually was not in the picture at the time. So
Oh.
it was me and Edgar for a while, and so that was a
Did
man
he
and
live
his
in your-
bird.
Did he give
What?
you gifts?
No, he would literally kind of always show up at my window, and I'd feed him like food and stuff, and you always keep coming back. It's like you feed them once, they keep coming back, and that's kind of how it was.
Edgar had a Nick. You didn't have an Edgar.
There you go. I guess so.
You're the one in the cage to him.
Yes, I was his human, literally. So that's what it
You were
was.
his human. Oh, that's so cool.
But no, so the creatures
Oh.
very much did it for me, and
Yeah.
and stuff. So, and what about you two? What made the show for you guys?
Willow?
Well, okay, so because I love horror, it was definitely something that can scare the crap out of me if I was,
How are we
watching it
friends?
home by myself. My husband wouldn't watch it with me. So
Really, Joe? I hear him in the background. What did I say?
he does okay, so since watching The Grudge with me, he refuses to watch these kind of shows.
The Grudge was
Wow.
like nothing. Oh my god. Tell him to watch Chucky.
Or the orphanage. Watch the orphanage, and then we'll
Oh,
talk.
that's a good one too.
And because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and the monsters were very reminiscent of Silent Hill and
Oh yeah.
and Resident Evil. So
Yeah. Well, so I agree with you guys both. The creatures were beautiful. The special effects were awesome. What I'm finding more and more and more and more and more is the character development. Like, I don't have a specific character I'm going, oh my God, I'm a Max fan. Oh my God, I love Lucas. Oh my God, I love Al. Oh my, like, I don't gravitate towards one and really fun.
Yeah.
Primify. Somebody says, Willow! We talk in Stranger Things.
Hey, E Prime, what's up?
But I'm not going, so and so is my favorite character, or so and so is my favorite storyline. I am so hooked. Like, I very favorite character in season 4. Pretty sure everybody else's favorite character. I love Eddie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
We're definitely pouring
Yes.
one out for our
Okay.
homie. Definitely. Have to
I
pour one
grew
out for
up-
Eddie.
I grew up with knowing guys like him.
Me too.
So
Yep.
yeah.
but it's this character development, and I'm gonna throw it out for like this weird random thing right now. So like Walking Dead for me was really amazing. For the character development, there's like a whole world of zombies, but it's like, who are the monsters? The real people, or the real humans, the real monsters, or are the monsters the monsters?
Right.
And it's how these communities come together. And I feel like we're kind of taking that turn with the end of season 4, where we're really going to start to see what the community is going to do. But right now we've had like a very Goonies adventure. It's very Goonies-fied. But the character development, I'm actually caring about these characters now. And they're bringing in such dynamic personalities that it's believable. It's not dry. It's not. It's not. It's very much, here's characters, here's how they're going to develop within each other. And we're not focusing on the kids, and we're not focusing on the adults. We're having a full storyline. And we're going to give you characters that are bad guys that you're actually going to care about.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you characters that are good guys that you're going to hate. and vice versa. And it's really breaking that stereotype. And I think that's what I've been driving, more and more of my attention to. And it makes me put my phone down and watch.
The thing that I hate, like you said, you mentioned with The Walking Dead, I hate them introducing characters and making us fall in love with them, and then
Stranger Things does that every season. What are you talking about? I literally called Nick at the end of No. So Nick, what was the phone call I gave you at the end of episode 9? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What did I say to you?
Well, I mean, you're like, I'm so mad and I'm so upset and everything else. I'm like, oh, because of Eddie.
I said they were supposed to have 5 deaths in the one episode.
And then you were like the whole death thing, and because you and I had been speculating about who's going to get killed off.
We did. We spent like an hour.
And it's interesting. Millie Bobby Brown feels the same way you do, in the sense that
Does she?
Yeah, because she apparently, I'm sure, obviously was very playful, but she mentioned to the Duffer Brothers during the course of an interview that she would like the show to be more like Game of Thrones, in the sense that characters can die randomly. And so she was kind of being very provocative about this.
Yeah.
And the Duffer Brothers was kind of looking at her like, okay. And they were trying to realize where she was joking. She was likely joking, I'm sure. But she makes a good point.
She does. Well, let's go to Game of Thrones. That's a good point to touch on. Except the whole thing with Game of Thrones is there's literally full kingdoms. And I think that with where the direction is of season 4, they've already said there's going to be a spinoff. And yes, season 5 is going to be the final season for the series, but there's going to be spinoffs. And I think we might get a Game of Thrones-esque spinoff where it's going to say, okay, you know what? Here is how one thing is happening over here, and let's follow the storyline more. Let's follow the development of this, or who's going to explore the Upside Down. Sorry, I'm like dying over here. But there's so many fan thoughts and like canon, and like it's so cool because people can go back and say, well, so and so is this and this. There's one girl, I'm going on a tangent because it just blows my mind. She's a huge Kate Bush fan. And she's like, but if you listen to this album, it actually discusses a girl going into a coma and how she becomes the queen of hell and then she comes back to life. That's Max. And I'm like, oh my God, that's really cool. And there's so many things, and the Duffer Brothers have like thrown so many Easter eggs and thrown so much stuff that we can't catch it all. It's very Marvel-esque of them, but even more so.
Yeah, even Master of Puppets itself is definitely a clear, because who is the Master of Puppets? And that's what it's all about.
Well, did you see the meme that was really kind of cool? It said, Master of Puppets came out in the summer. It was like, Eddie essentially had like 2.5 weeks to learn that entire thing by heart. And I'm like,
this is fair. Yeah.
That is really, but that's the kind of guy that Eddie takes me for. And it's just really magical to watch. And he's been doing an interview, and he said it was the first time anybody had been to any like live music during COVID or post-COVID. And like there were people that were on set just to watch him play because he taught himself. Obviously, he didn't fit the whole thing, but spoiler alert. But there were people that were like crying because here's live music being played and it's impactful. And yeah, it doesn't look like what we're seeing, but I would love to be a fly on that wall.
Oh yeah, must have been amazing. And the fact that he literally is playing it, which I think is fantastic. It's not just somebody syncing up their fingers to the notes.
Well, he's playing it, but not that good.
Well, sure. But still, kudos to him for because I can't play the guitar to save my life. I'm a drummer, so I wouldn't know where to start when it comes to guitars. But
so you've got the beat.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't be able to do the whole, the solo. Obviously, exactly, the solo. But you mentioned that fact of learning it in 2 weeks. My brother pretty much did that. Granted, he was a child musical. He was a child musical prodigy, granted. At 12 years old, he was already playing Malmsteen and Metallica and everything else. It's like it was, now he doesn't play anymore because he doesn't want to do it. He's not interested in doing it. But at the time, it was insane to just watch this tiny little kid with a guitar that was bigger than him doing this crazy stuff. This was like before YouTube was a thing.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have become a YouTube sensation overnight. But so it can happen. If you are that gifted, you can do it.
Well, when would he have had time to do that? When he's Eddie running from the law? or he had
Well,
to do it
yeah.
before, which is about a week. So he had like a week to learn it.
Plus
Unless
all
it
the
was
D&D
because-
games that he was hosting.
Yeah.
Right? Like Hellfire Club
Yeah.
takes up a lot of time. A lot.
Granted, he's a dropout, so he probably has a lot of free time on his hands. But
Well,
you know, or
he's-
dropout, or rather, he's repeating the year like for the how
I was
many
like, he's
nth
not a
time.
dropout. Right.
Yeah, so you probably have a lot of free time on your
But
hands.
I get a very Van Wilder feel from that. Do you ever see Van
Sure,
Wilder?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I see where you're
Okay.
coming from with that. Yeah.
Like he's like, my life sucks, except I am like terrifying people here, and I run a badass D&D campaign over here with Hellfire Club, and people become a cult. And well, so we've had a guest on here before, Mark Muncy, and I saw him comment on somebody because everyone's like, oh, you know, if only we were able to have guys like Eddie now, and blah blah blah. And Mark's like, I lived this. Like, I'm literally the age that Eddie would have been. Spoiler alert. But he's like, I was this, I did this, I lived through the what was the D&D is devil, or like there was like some actual motto. He's like, I lived through all of this stuff. And Mark Muncy, like, I'd love to have him on our show again, but I was like, you know what, like it's not too far out of the realm at all. But it just kind of blows my mind again, kind of the Duffer Brothers messing with the initial thought process, or the initial like, oh, you're supposed to not like this guy because he's a drug dealer and he's got funky hair.
Hey,
Thank
Holly.
you, the
Thanks,
Satanic
Holly.
Panic. Thanks, Holly. See, I knew it. Thank
Hey,
you.
Holly.
Yes. Thanks, Holly. So, Holly, we love it. You're loving the discussion so far, and I'm
Cheers,
so
Holly.
glad you're able to join us. And of course, Nick. Now, Holly, I'm going to ask you this specifically. What has been your favorite and your least favorite part of the entire Stranger Things series? And then I'm going to put that to our lovely panel.
Oh,
while
man.
Holly is typing that up, Willow, what has been your favorite and your least favorite part of everything with Stranger Things?
Okay, so my favorite is all the like throwbacks to all of our childhood movies and TV shows and just all around nerdy stuff that they throw into that. Like hearing the theme song for like seeing the kids wear the Ghostbusters uniform, hearing the song from Neverending Story.
It's like a
sung,
spooky
you know,
the Goldbergs. That's what it reminds me of, because I love the Goldbergs. This is a spooky the Goldbergs.
You know, and like all the little toys and trinkets that they play with, you know, like, okay, I've had walkie-talkies, but none that went as far as their walkie-talkie sets go.
You mean to the upside down? I'm like, wait.
It wouldn't even
My
last the whole house.
Yeah. Or yeah, like you'd be in your room, you like try to talk to like your family member in the other room, and then they can't hear you. Had like
you go downstairs and you'll be maybe picking up a little bit of static.
Yeah.
And it was your least favorite thing.
My least favorite thing? Okay, so I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but
Why would we hate you?
some of the acting a little bit, like my brain is brain
Mush.
farting now. But
Brain far is out. That smell is. While you do that, I'm gonna go get something very important. So I'm turning my camera on, but I'm still listening. I'll be right back.
Winona Ryder, I love her dearly. She's a great actress, but sometimes like it's like when she's supposed to do like the over dramatic scenes and be serious, it's like I have a really hard time taking her serious in those moments, because it's like something goes awry where it's like it's like she's not.
It's her delivery in it.
It's an overacting.
I can see that, but I wonder if, I mean, she's not been like that in other roles.
I mean, okay, so
I wonder if it's written like that or she's directed like that.
Girl Interrupted is a very good film where you can actually feel the emotion, but
yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
I think that's another key point of like, we're not really supposed to feel the emotion. I think we're more supposed to feel the error. Oh, Holly responded, love the character growth. The whole thing with the others with Eleven's abilities was okay, but it seems to get lost in the shuffle. What is the main cause that we need to focus on? I understand. It seemed, especially this season, seemed very chaotic. But I think it was done intentionally to kind of just throw us everywhere because we didn't know which way to look. And I think causing that anxiety and panic, we're like, what's going to happen next? What's like, it's the water
It keeps
cooler
you on
talk.
edge, definitely.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's been quoted by numerous places is you want to come back from, I think actually David Harper actually just did an interview with that. Like, we have to create TV where you're wanting to come back and either binge watch the whole thing or come back for the next season, not just watch it and be like, I can watch it in the background. But, oh, and Willow, you were talking about toys that they play with. So, I got really, really, really excited being the Disney girl that I am because this little guy makes an appearance in one of the episodes.
Sweet.
So I love Figment. We're all the same age as Figment. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Figment was born October 1st when Epcot opened. But my best friend and her husband, they actually got me this Figment because I picked up a Figment popcorn bucket for them and I refused to give it back.
Like you do.
So I said, like I do. It was so cute. And it's somewhere in my house because they're going to be taking it back to Wisconsin tomorrow. But all of a sudden I got this in the mail and I was like, I had this one growing up. He lives on my desk. That's why I had to go get him. But he's in one of the scenes. He's in the background. You actually see Figment, which I think is really cool.
Yes, he is.
So it's very relatable. What about you, Nick? What's your favorite and least favorite?
Well, favorite, I had quite a few in the sense that the ones that Willow was referring to, the whole never-ending story thing, which was a big movie for me at the time growing up. So of course,
Jonathan Brandis is so hot.
There you go. Yeah, and that tune was obviously you love hearing it. You can like hear it over and over again, which was great.
Never-ending story. Okay.
And one of my top things was literally the reveal of Vecna being one. I love that, and the character is so good.
But how did you not know?
No, I mean, no, I was glad it was confirmed because I had that suspicion. But like, please, and also the whole thing of the troubled child and being a big fan of the Amityville franchise. I love the Amityville thing.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like Amityville meets Nightmare on Elm Street, which I really enjoyed.
Yes. Oh, and having the guy who did Freddy Krueger in that
literally show up, like, and he's such a lovely man. I've worked with him multiple times, but having him in there, I'm like, oh god, that's so genius. But everything's coming back around, like Chucky, for example. Nick laughed at this. So I'm friends with Alex Vincent, who is in Chucky and what was in Chucky. And like, I had no interest in seeing the show because I'm like, it's, but I'll support my friend. And now I'm like, it's really messed up. But it's really cool because again, these are things that like terrorized us. I was never a kid to be afraid, but these are things that like mess with us as kids. And now as adults, we're either like, or like, ooh, tell us more. So I really love that.
So yeah, that was fantastic. I'm actually with Millie Bobby Brown on the stuff that I didn't like, in the sense that I think that maybe the show did not take enough risks, as in the fact of certain characters literally dying. I mean, as much as I love Max, I think it would have been a bigger bomb had she literally died. I would have actually thought it would have been more of a significant death if she had literally died. As I said, it's a shame. We're happy she's back. I mean, granted, she's in a coma now, which I'm sure she will recover from. I
think she's going to be blind.
Or she'll as you said, be blind. But like I said, I think that's the only thing that kind of in inverted commas upsets me, because I get that you can't maybe kill off certain characters because they're your core characters, but you could also be the risk-taking show where characters do die randomly because that's what happens in life. I get it's a fantasy, I get it, but I'm with Millie Bobby Brown in the fact of surprise me. Make some of that really careful, just die, and let's see what happens. Granted, you'll have people
excuse me, they killed Eddie.
Yes, but they're not going to kill any of the core characters.
They killed Bob.
You're not gonna have.
I will never heal from that.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have Max die. You're not gonna have Steve die.
How do you know?
How do you know? I don't know, but what I'm saying is, I hope that in next season we'll have more risks. They'll take more risks.
I don't know how many risks they can take because it's the last season.
Or unless 11 dies, which would be big, sacrificing herself.
Well, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I
Doing
like
kind of an Iron Man thing, kind of last stand.
oh, too soon.
I'm sorry, I know
Way too soon.
I broke your heart with
Spoiler
Iron.
alert. Jeez, Nick.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, Endgame's been out for a while now. Come on.
Yeah, it's way past spoiler alert season.
But I broke your heart with Aunt May, and now I break your heart with Iron Man. I'm sorry.
Oh my god! So on Nick's show the other night, we're talking about Spider-Man. We were talking about superheroes having families and having relationship with families, and they were like Spidey, and I was like, he's like, and Aunt May and dying, and I'm like, oh, it's too soon.
I'm sorry. I know.
I made like the worst high pitched noise. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yes,
but
I know. I threw salt on an open wound. Just
yes.
You
know.
Well, I want to go back to one. I want to go back to Jamie Campbell Bower, who I've loved for a long time.
Fabulous.
The actor that. I met him. I keep seeing all these memes. Everyone's like, "Oh, I knew him. He was in Twilight." And I'm like, "Hi, Sweeney Todd as Anthony Hope." Like, he's always been a spooky boy. And a friend of mine actually says that he is the boy that looks like his face is in a fish eye filter at all times. But I love him. And he was so compelling. And he has that's not really bad. He is the opposite of Kristen Stewart, where, everyone gave Bella such a hard time because she didn't emote through her face and she just had the same look. Jamie Campbell Bower is like, I'm looking here and I moved my hair and now I'm all like evil, but I'm happy and I'm going to help you, but I'm crazy. Like, he's very...
He almost has like a Clockwork Orange kind of feel
yes.
to his...
Can you imagine him doing a remake of Clockwork Orange? Nick, you're gone on your mute.
No, totally. I mean, he also reminds me a little bit of I can't Evan Peters when it comes to him in American Horror Story.
Yes. Oh God, I loved Evan Peters in American Horror Story, and I hope they bring him back. I really do. I love that we've got like these like spooky boys. And don't get me wrong, I love Johnny Depp and everything Tim Burton does, but like we have our own that we can continuously follow. And the transformation of one into Vecna in Me Upside Down is such an incredible scene. I am not like gonna humbly brag here. I have friends that created that prosthetic and that look and worked in the show. And they're up for numerous awards at this point.
Good. They deserve it.
Oh my God.
I hope they get something at the Emmys for sure or something like that.
They have to. But I actually have screenshots. So a buddy of mine who is actually Jason Voorhees cosplayer who wins like a lot of awards. I tried to call him to see if he'd come on the show tonight, but of course has COVID.
Oh, shame.
So that's fun. So he is sleeping. This is like our whole thing. We send a lot of photos of like random, don't do that. You're gonna see a bunch of like random memes and a bunch of random stuff. But we go back and forth with different things of Vecna. Like you've got like this is a gorgeous shot.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like there's beautiful shots that I've been able to get from the live action, and I'm going, it is spectacular, but he is actually going to do it as a cosplay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it'd be great as a cosplay for sure.
To like light it and stuff, like it's gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. You don't have to wear the full like moving suit, but like I love the shots of, Vecna chilling because Jamie Campbell Bower is a smoker. And so he would find that every hour, because I think it took like 6 hours each time they applied it, depending on the length of time that like they actually sat, he would go take like one cigarette each time. But there's numerous shots. Let me see if I can find one of him sitting.
It's so weird because before I knew what the actor's name was, I thought he was related to Brad Dourif because he looks like him for some reason.
Oh, I can see that.
I was like, is this Brad Dourif's kid?
His kid. His kid. Did you hear what he did? Was it with Will? He focused on, so he like locked himself into his trailer or like into where he was staying at with a photo of Will, and he stared at it for 2 full days.
That's very much the method actor. Good.
Wow.
Very method actor. But that's what brings up a lot of stuff for season 5, and everyone thinks that Will is either going to turn evil and become like the next Vecna, because he's having all of these things that happened, to one.
Or he'll definitely have a connection to him since he still has that, will tingle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Willy tingle.
Yeah, that does not sound right.
It cannot.
Will has the Vecna tingle.
Vecna has the Will tingle. Nope. No,
No,
that doesn't
does
work.
not sound good. Phrasing. No.
You started it.
Are we still saying phrasing? Like, is that still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick says it all the time. He's in Italy, though. They're a couple years behind us.
Yes,
They
it's
still
true.
wear Gap. It's true. No, seriously. In order to apparently they're obsessed with Americans, or
Oh, yeah.
at least that's what Nick tells
American flag on the shoes and on T-shirts and on underwear.
And the girls wear Gap shirts and NFL teams and don't know but their NFL teams.
Yeah, the Rams jersey is super popular in Italy. It's like you have the hoodies with the pink and the white, and the chicks don't know what it is. They're like, oh, Rams. I guess it's something American, so it's cool. I mean, I gave my sister a Giants hoodie, and she doesn't even know what sport the Giants play in.
Where's my care package? I'll take it. Don't say my birthday is coming up soon. It's still it's 5 months away from yesterday.
Holly says yes. She can see the resemblance to Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I really have loved the direction the show's going. They're bringing in epic performers. The fact that Vecna has been it since day one, and they can actually move it back to season 1 is so cool.
Oh yeah.
But I will say that season 4 is by far my favorite. The cinematography of
Agreed.
Yes.
Everything of it has just been beautiful, and it's not wrapping it up in a pretty little bow. It has us on the edge of our seats. Willow put that post on. She's like, and squeamish. And I'm like, I wasn't squeamish, but I certainly was doing this when Steve was being attacked by bats. Because if anybody does anything to Steve, we riot. And then the Eddie thing, I knew Eddie was gonna die. Did you guys know the whole thing?
New guy gonna die.
New guy gonna die. You love him the most. Yeah. It's his year. But because he didn't go back to the house for Chrissy, he had to make sure that he goes back. But I'm sorry. And Nick, you and I have this conversation right after it happened.
Go for it.
And I have this conversation with multiple people. He
kind of had it coming.
No. Hell no. We're not
had it coming.
No.
He tried to run away, and he tried to. He tried.
But
all right, go ahead.
So
go ahead.
we've got multiple things here. So one, we'll go back to that for a second. So with Eddie, what would happen if he went back? He'd be tried for murder. Now there's more people missing, so there's really nothing there. But we haven't had a funeral yet. No body either. Just so you guys think. So I think that he's definitely gonna reappear. But
okay.
Yeah. We don't have a body. No body, no evidence, no proof. I know. But with Dustin, he's like, oh no, you're gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay in the upside down, and he gets rid of the rope.
Yeah.
Jump.
You could have jumped, I suppose.
Take a chair. I get the symbolism of it, but it was very much easier for him to come back. But why? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go protect Dustin? You wanted to have this superhero moment, but I thought it was really noble because they were the decoys, and they're not the superheroes. We're not the heroes here. Yeah, but now you are, and you're trying to distract it so everything else can go on. So I thought that was really beautiful, but why? But why?
My money was on Steve dying, but there you go.
I know, but the Duffer Brothers have been quoted as saying that they the actress that played Chrissy. They're like, we didn't realize how much chemistry the two actors had in that scene. We filmed it after the death scene, or they did something out of order. They would have kept her alive because there was such chemistry on set and in the scene. But why are we doing this? You can't kill Steve. And so are they going to go back, and are they going to try to do that? I think that we're all SOL when it comes to season 5, because it's going to be no holds barred. I really do.
Yeah, because since the last season, you're right. They're going to have to. I mean, there will be a spin-off, but of course, it's the last season for this.
So what's the spinoff going to be?
Unless it's not related to these characters. I would like if it was not related to these characters and was a whole different thing.
Right, so very much like Walking Dead.
Yeah, I would prefer that.
More Dustin's girlfriend and her crazy family.
I would love to see her more. I would love to actually see her more in this series, though, because we got to see very little of her. And I think, again, they're bringing her in because there was chemistry between the performers. And it's been really interesting. Like, I've been TikToking and all this other stuff just because I can. But it's interesting because they always show the videos of like the cast watching their first interviews or like when they were first around, and they've grown so much. And like a friend of mine, he's like, what shows would you recommend that I watch? And I'm like, Stranger Things. Like, so he started watching it. He's like, yeah, I like hate this. Like, it's not really good, but like I'm gonna watch it because I hope it gets better. But like now I'm kind of addicted. Like I have to watch it. And I'm like, it's like watching a car wreck or like driving past an accident. Okay. And then today he started, I think he just finished episode 7. And he's like, I love this. This is the best season ever because the kids don't look like little kids. And, you know, like the actress that plays, so you've got like Max and Lucas, they're in their 20s. Just you guys now.
And I think Millie Bobby Brown is now 18, I think, or 17.
19, I think.
Wow.
And I think Mike is actually like 18. Like none of them were like little, but there's such a dynamic from the first, was in 2016 when the show came out. We've had the show around for 6 years, but because we're releasing it like every almost 2 years, this is what we're getting. And it's been really incredible to see the transformation, but it's fun to see the cast, and they really have grown up together, and they're taking pride in that. And I think that it's smart between not only the Duffer Brothers, but Netflix. You're not going to beat a dead horse. You're really not, or a dead Demogorgon. Like, you're not going to continuously like overdo it. You're giving us the show, giving it to us in chunks. I thought it was very smart to like have us wait for those 2 episodes. I paced myself so I wasn't hating my life. Nick did not do that.
I'm voracious when it comes to TV.
He's like, I have to wait so long. I was like, I timed it right. But realistically, it's making us take appreciation for it, have a conversation about it, and create more of a fan base. And I think that's really key.
You know, like I've been watching Umbrella Academy as well through like in between.
And I did the same.
You know,
not a fan.
Now that I'm done watching both shows, I have nothing to watch.
Chucky, watch Chucky. Oh wait, and there's a new show on Hulu that I will give a shout out to, because if you have not seen it or seen anything about it, I highly enjoyed it. It's called Maggie. It's like That's So Raven, but for adults.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like a studio audience or anything. It's a lot of fun. Really good characters in it. Really like not a lot of known performers. But it's funny, but it's serious, and it's really cute. And they're like 27-minute episodes. So watch Maggie on Hulu. That's what I kind of did, but now I'm binging through Chucky. I texted Alex the other day. I was like, I'm up to season 5 or episode 5. He's like, you haven't even really watched the episode in a minute. And I'm like, you're in 4 more episodes. It's okay. We'll watch it.
Or Willow, if you are into like witches and stuff, and or an interesting take on witches, I would strongly suggest you check out Fort Salem.
That's a great show.
Motherland, Fort Salem. It's really, really good.
There's supposed to be something else coming out. I think it's in September. There's a movie that's like the good versus the evil. Vampire Academy. I mean, you can watch a lot. If you go into Stranger Things, there's actually like shows that we recommend section.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I would do. But there's nothing out there like Stranger Things.
And then any vampire fan worth their salt should be watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Duh.
My husband was wondering about that show. I'm just like, should I show it to him?
Have you never watched? Have you watched it?
I've watched a couple episodes, but yeah, it's What We Do in the Shadows.
Even the Taika Waititi movie was great.
Oh, and our flags mean death is a great show too. But anyways, moving back to Stranger Things.
But yeah,
So
no,
let's try-
it just when it came to watching the Umbrella Academy in between Stranger Things, it's like you want to be invested in the characters of the Umbrella Academy, but you're still on Stranger Things.
Yeah, it was real. I really wish that Netflix would have paced it up, but that's okay. Now, something we haven't really touched on a whole group of characters though on Stranger Things. What do you guys think about like Nancy and Jonathan and Argyle? Like we've got some new fun characters out there.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh my god, Nancy and my brain, I can't remember characters' names for some reason. Like there's a relation. I feel like there's a relationship brewing with those two.
Between Nancy and Steve, or Nancy and Jonathan?
Steve.
Okay.
There was a relationship with Nancy.
There was, but then they broke up because Steve was a bit of a jerk, and so she broke up with him, and then she got with Jonathan, and she's been with Jonathan ever since. But yeah.
I think a lot of people shipped her going back to Steve, and I think that because remember they dated, and then she left Steve for Jonathan, and like Steve was like, "Rrr," and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's a much better choice because Steve sucks," and now Steve is like everybody's favorite, and they want to see Nancy get with Steve, but I think that we're past that.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's possible maybe season 5 something happens, but I see them very much being protective of each other, which is really important, and it's really nice to see a healthy platonic relationship on screen.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a moment of weakness when like they almost kissed, but like in a situation like that when you're probably going to die, why not? But and then you've got Robin. Poor Robin. Like Robin doesn't really have. She's not getting like good.
But doesn't she have the peanut butter girl now?
She does kind of have the peanut butter girl.
That's another relationship thing that I'd like to see.
Like, yeah, well, remember in the 80s, guys, it was not easy for these people to come out. It was very hard.
Point, look at Will.
Oh, poor Will. Poor Will. Will had it hard, and there's a lot of people that don't understand that conversation, and they're not seeing the situation. They're like, oh, well, Will's just jealous that Mike's spending more time with Elle. No!
Oh, when Will is crying and he's literally talking about himself.
Yes. And, he's talking about Mike being the heart of the group, and, like, he so loves him. And I don't know, I mean, obviously he was, like, in love with him, but I think that he's also coming into his own a little bit more. And I think that he's starting to see that, like, Mike is truly his best friend. And that he's with Elle and he's going to love them as a family. But I almost see Will. Everyone thinks that Will's going to turn evil because he's showing the same signs as one. I think that Will is going to maybe sacrifice himself or something.
Which would be very sad, but seeing as he can't get the man that he loves, and he's having all these kind of issues. He was the first one to be taken by the Demogorgon and everything else, so he's had it really, really rough. But
he has had it rough. I mean, look at his haircut.
Yeah, exactly. It's not them. It looks like he's from the Middle Ages.
Change it. But the Duffer Brothers won't change it. And now he said his hair is long enough because it used to be a full wig. Now his hair is long enough where they just put a little bit of extensions on it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But I did like the brotherly relationship between him and Jonathan. The talk that they had in the diner was very sweet.
Yeah.
Even the looks that Jonathan gave him in the rearview mirror while he was talking to Mike, I think was really sweet. It was touching, and it kind of like Jonathan knows. And he, with that conversation in the pizza place, for sure. I think that was really awesome of Jonathan to step up and be like, hey, you know what? It's cool. Like, I'm here for you. No matter what, like, I see you. I see you for who you are, and don't hesitate to come to me. I think that's really important. I think that we can all learn a lot from that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
what about Argyle, guys? I mean, because you do, because he was getting a bit annoying to me with the whole surfer bro stoner thing, but think
about it. He's our hero because he's literally the one that talked his way into the pizza place.
I'll give him
Surfer Bro's Pizza. To get in there, he knew that the cooler was going to be a good space. He knew this, and then he was still cooking up pizza while they were getting ready to go into the upside down. Except the only thing I will say, and I know it wasn't even Argyle, but Mike making the glasses out of cardboard?
No.
Cardboard and water don't work.
Yeah, that was a little far-fetched, but yeah.
They're cute. And you can actually buy at Walmart, you can actually buy like Stranger Things pizza. It's jalapeno and pineapple, and they have like a cutout sunglasses.
But it was okay, I guess. And did you guys think that Papa is dead?
Oh darn.
Because
didn't
we didn't
like
really see
Papa.
him die, but do you guys think he's dead?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I see,
No body, no proof.
he would definitely be like one of the top ones to die, unfortunately, because of the trauma that he put all those children through.
Right, well, yes, but he also was the one that removed the collar from Elle and was able to release her. I think he'd be smart enough, knowing that they're coming. I think that he'd be smart enough to protect himself and have something prepared. Holly just commented, she loves Argyle. He starts to grow on you. I agree. And he did have some good moments where he was able to see the big picture to help out. I agree. He was a comedic relief, but at the same time, he is an outside force that's not even questioning anything. He's really just going for it. And like, you know what? Oh, cool. There's like this crazy chick that has like superpowers. And like, oh, there's this entire like upset. What? Like, there's so many things that Argyle brings to the table. And I really loved that. And it just kind of is really mind blowing.
I kind of feel the same, Holly.
No, yeah,
agreed.
no,
no tears shed for Papa.
no. Ugh, Papa. If any guy ever asked me to call him Papa, it's not gonna happen. Daddy, no, but no, truthfully, like it was such a unique season because I'm going back and it my brain now, like the symbolism was really beautiful. Like the panel, like that stained glass panel with the rose.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. Like, you know what that is. The clocks are different. Even going back into the Kate Bush album, like there's clocks ticking. When Will was at the very, very, very end of episode 9, you can actually hear faintly the clock pull 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff that the Duffer Brothers are putting in there for the artistic side. So like I originally went to the UCF for film and animation, and I was all about the symbolism and the meanings of everything and the colors of this. And like Nick and I briefly touched on it the other day about Ms. Marvel. There's so much stuff that producers and directors are utilizing to make us emote and to have us feel a certain way, and the darkness and the lightness and the colors of the upside down. Like I had a picture before my whole thing started going crazy. My upside down was like the peaceful side, but it's like all blue and black. And then Willow's got the really cool one with like the red lightning. Like there's so much dynamic between it. And I've been becoming really fascinated with the storylines of colors through the characters. And I don't know if it's something you guys have noticed, but like, go ahead.
For me, it's a lot of it has been the music. Like,
great soundtrack.
You hear one song, well, not just Running Up the Hill, but another song over and over.
She's made like $2.5 million just from downloads since Stranger Things played the song. That's incredible.
And now Master of Puppets is #1 on the Billboard Rock chart.
Again.
Yeah.
What year is it?
Right. But like, you know, you've got these like color stories. So, or you have like, I was watching a whole thing on it, like Nancy and her mom. So everyone's like, oh, Nancy's perm, it's not perfect. No, she doesn't have time to do it. She's probably going to the same salon as her mom because her mom's got the same salon. And she's probably, you know, copying her mom's style a little bit, or her mom is encouraging her to do it. But they're keeping like the purples, or like they're keeping like the reds and the yellows with Max because she's like more of like surfer skater. Like it's been really cool because it's very Game of Thrones. Each family has their own dynamic and their own color system so that you can subconsciously relate.
Our world just healed itself from all the hairspray that women and men, I should say, like everybody were putting in their hair through. You know, I don't think the style should come back. from the 80s.
Spare the ozone layer,
So
folks. Seriously.
this is unintentional. This is Heather got caught in the rain and it's being tamed down right now. It's like trying. Okay. Holly, let's see. What about the school counselor? Do you think she may have some sort of tie to Vecna or the group that gave the kids their powers? That's a great question, Holly. Realistically, yeah. Oh, I think she's got way more because they popped in, they got the information, they left. I really think that they're going to bring her back somehow. Either she was one of the other kids in the facility and like survived somehow, or something. I would hope that the Duffer Brothers wouldn't just like pop her in and then like piece her out. I really feel like something else is going on there.
And will we maybe see 9 or 8 or whoever it was that was kind of that kind of got away? Because I know they didn't all die.
No, they didn't all die
during one's rampage. So I wonder where we might see some of the other kids and see where they're at.
Let me tell you, that scene, like I had like my holy shit moment, like when Elle is putting him through the wall and creating the upside down, because they're all running from the upside down. She is the upside down. But they're all saying, like, going into one's background, they're all saying that the upside down is actually one's hell. Like, it's his brain. And that she's put him into his own brain because, remember, he uses telekinesis. And he, like, mind flayer. Like, everything, there's a lot of fan theories that are saying people, like, the upside down is one's mind. And you're actually going into his mind, which makes him a lot more powerful than we've given him credit for.
Yeah.
I still love the Demogorgons though. Like, what do you
gorgeous.
guys have?
Yeah,
They're gorgeous, and the little ones are so cute. Adopt a demo dog today. Okay. I had kids coming up to me going, "I love your demo dog shirt." I'm like, "Oh yeah, ignore the kitty cat. There's a cat on it. That is not alive anymore."
Right.
And it has red around it. So I'm like, it's just a cat licking ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's totally, that kitty is totally fine. But no, I'm
fine. It's acting. It's taking a nap.
Exactly. No, I'm actually looking for a decent figurine, a decent size figurine of the Demogorgon, because I need something to put up there with my Xenomorph from Alien, which is another one of my all-time favorite creatures. So
I'm a creature girl. Like, I really am. Like, you don't see, like, that's my vampire stuff there. And then in that room is even more. I love me some creatures. I really do. And with Stranger Things, it has opened us up to having so many. Look at the demo bats. Demo bats for life. Those suckers are scary.
Going back to the makeup for a moment of Vecna, like, okay, so I know the whole wet look of monsters have been around for eons, but I feel like with Vecna, they did it so much better than even what Star Trek has done. Like,
do you know how they made him wet?
He looks slimy and gross.
Do you know what they used?
What?
Lube.
Oh my god.
It's true. They use lube every single time. And he said he's been quoted as saying every time he would interact with another character or another performer, they'd like slip off. It's lube.
Nice.
Holly, Kitty learned to play that. That's true. Yes.
I know that there's like slime or something that you can get.
It's lube.
But yeah, wow. Like,
it doesn't dry out. And it doesn't affect the prosthetics.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to pull up a behind the scenes here picture, but you guys keep.
But also the Vecna design was so cool. I mean, me being like a big fan of, like, say, Swamp Thing, it kind of gave me that kind of evil Swamp Thing vibe, because he's like one of my all-time favorite kind of designs. So I really, really love that too. So definitely great. And yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see now going forward, because what we know that Vecna is not dead. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here, and whether we'll see other creatures. And yeah.
So with him killing these people, what do you think the connection to him would be with those that have passed that he had killed?
Like, is it just
him feeding off their fear or insecurities?
I think they were weak-minded, and I think that somehow, somewhere, he felt that he had.
saving them.
I think so. Like, I'm trying to think of the best way of wording it. He's probably seeing something that he's seen in the past, like between being, in Papa's army, essentially, that he's saying, I've seen this behavior before, and I know it's not going to be good. I'm going to feed off of your kinetic energy. I'm going to feed off of everything you have and make you a portal because you're strong enough to withstand that and create the portal, but you're not going to be a good person. Or, you're a good person, but I'm better than you. I don't know. That's a great question. Oh, here's they're up for an Emmy for outstanding prosthetic makeup.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully they win it.
Yeah.
Already the nomination is great, but hopefully hopefully they can get the win, but already getting nominated is fantastic.
I would really like to see them win because I'm tired of, award shows. I apologize, Nick. I know you're into award shows, but
it's
fine. The gold standard.
We rat on the Academy all the time.
The last several years, it really felt like these award shows have been bought.
It's been advertising. It's been a while, but that's also like anything that's a big gathering thing on TV. Let's think about it. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Disney Christmas parades. It's all a giant commercial with entertainment.
Yeah, but also I think the problem is the Emmys may be kind of similar to what is with the Academy in the sense that they won't usually gravitate towards, mainstream shows. They'll maybe go for the more art housey shows, which I mean, there's some great art house shows out there. Don't get me wrong, but
there's a reason I don't watch a lot of these award ceremonies. The only award ceremonies I watch are the Tonys,
which is fair, totally fair. I mean,
not a lot of commercials there.
Sometimes the Academy does get it right, but they, more often than not, they don't. But for the most part, they do. They do get it right sometimes. But I think the problem is that there is this bias or prejudice towards certain shows. I mean, look at WandaVision or other such things. It was like, we can't, because superhero TV shows or movies, we can't take them seriously.
It's so
it's the way the Academy feels. It's where the Emmy feels, because they're like, we want the art house. We want the art house.
Yeah, no.
Superheroes are artsy. Sorry.
No, I get it. I totally get it. To them, it's more about, we'll give it to the family.
And I can't wait to watch the season finale of Ms. Marvel.
But when Star Trek loses against Suicide Squad for makeup,
say it again.
Sorry.
Say it against. You went full Canadian. It's what happens. You get a Canadian, an Italian, and an American in one room.
But it's
Love
true.
You guys.
You ask yourself why certain things, but like I said, I think it's that major prejudice that they've always had. I mean, look at the Academy. Only one time was a superhero movie nominated for Best Picture, and that was Black Panther, and it didn't go anywhere after that.
And what movie are you doing for Gold Standard this week, Nick?
Next week we'll be covering Gandhi. So which obviously plays in well in obviously with Miss Marvel, but yes, those are the kind of movies that the Academy gives Oscars to. I mean, Gandhi's a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it's the kind of movie that the Academy likes.
It should be based off of what people like, not what the Academy likes.
Well, I mean, one could make the argument that there is the People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
You can make that argument.
I won't give that. Well, let's start to wrap up. I want to hear. So, Willow, you've been really enjoying the music. You didn't even play my song for me. We didn't give anybody an earworm.
I'm sorry, I didn't have it. I couldn't get it set up properly. But yeah, no. Everybody knows the song by now, or at least have heard a snippet of it. Because of social media.
We'll just play it intermittently in our next couple of shows. It's fine. Willow will get it done by then. No, but I mean, I do love that theming throughout it. I think it's really key. And I think that everything comes back in fashion. I saw a meme today, that's like, people like in our age group, they're like, millennials just kind of gave up. They decided to be like their best dressed, like cool 90s kids they never got to be. And I'm like, yes, that's it though. But everything is coming back and all this music, it's like bringing a whole new generation of appreciation. And I think it's so incredible. And it's kind of like we're getting to relive like the parts, like as Nick said, like we were born in the 80s but raised in the 90s. Like we didn't get to experience a lot of this. A lot of it makes sense, but a lot of it we're kind of experiencing for the first time as adults, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess it also is, to quote Roger Ebert, which can be applied, I guess, to anything, music or movies, whatever. The first time you see a movie, the first time you see a song, it's new to you. It can be
Yes.
the song could have come out 50 years ago, but to you, it's new. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's a very poignant statement. It's true.
And I love it. And I just want to keep seeing what they're going to do. I'm hungry for more. They have satisfied my hunger for the time being, but I'm going to get hungry again. It's true, though.
I'm starving now. And we have to wait 2 years.
Like, and he just rapped like Miss Marvel too. Like, what are you going to do with yourself, Nick? Yeah. We have to wait
At
for
least
She-Hulk.
we have She-Hulk. At least we got the Lord of the Rings TV show coming up in September. So there'll be that to watch.
That'll be really awesome. That'll be great. But so Willow, what are you looking forward to for next season? Give your and Nick, same thing, same question. Give me what you think is going to happen in season 5.
Okay, so Mommy and Daddy are gonna come home and beat the crap out of some people. So I'm looking forward to that. More with those two. And you know what, honestly, I just want to be surprised, but at the same time I don't want like the wrong characters getting killed off,
I don't think we're gonna have any luck with that. And you bring up a point. Oh my god, that whole scene with Hopper and 11 when he comes back made my heart break. I kept the door open inches. I was like, oh god, like it was so beautiful, and like you can truly see the love that they have for each other. It's beautifully done.
Well, for them to come home to their cabin all destroyed, that's kind of sad, but gives them a chance to rebuild and build a better home.
Do you know how much the production department paid for the like Hopper's cabin? Do you want to know this?
Sure.
Like it's a real cabin. Do you take a guess? Both of you take a guess how much they actually paid to buy the cabin.
Well, it's about 400,000 for houses out here, so about that, maybe a little bit more.
For a cabin? For a dilapidated? Okay, Nick.
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, not being very much a sort of expert real estate kind of guy when it comes to states, it's hard to say.
Take a stab.
Because you're not really paying for the cabin; you're paying for the land that the cabin's on.
Just take a stab.
I would probably say roughly around the ballpark. The Willow was saying maybe 400,000, 500 thereabouts. What, 1,000 or 100,000? $1. Seriously, nice.
They paid $1. Production found this beat up old cabin and they paid $1 for it. They were going to get it gifted, but real estate law, you have to spend $1 to give somebody a gift.
Wow.
That entire actual, yeah, right. The entire cabin that they used for filming, and that's still in existence and will continue to be in existence.
Okay. So if you guys want to gift us a cabin.
Well played.
It costs more than $1. But if you want to help us gift a nail to make a cabin, and if you've enjoyed our show, as Willow has told apparently, I mean, we've had you can go to buymeacoffee.com/thesideshow and buy us a coffee or a nail or a cabin. Something like that. But we're going to continue to bring you all the fun fandom stuff and continuously give you spoilers. And with that being said, Nick, you've always been one of my favorite people to always have on our show. Please tell the people what they can expect to see from you and me this week. Speaking of spoilers and all sorts of fun stuff, because I have a lot of homework to do.
Well, ladies, as always, it's a pleasure to a podcast with you. It's always a joy and an honor. So thank you so much for having me on.
You're a bad liar, but keep it going.
I'm Italian. I have to turn on the amore. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But,
yeah. Yeah, my
but-
Italian lesson stopped, by the way, so we're gonna have to read.
Uh-oh.
ouch. Yes. I know. We're going to be reported.
More
to
late
the,
night chats.
Going to be reported to the teaching body. Yes. So
There is a full moon coming up this week.
Aye. Okay, so folks, when it comes to me, if you enjoy country music, you can find me hosting the radio show Whiskey and Cigarettes, where we play today's country, traditional country, and everything else in between. And more about that, visit our website, whiskeyandcigarettesshow.com. Podcast-wise, if superhero movies are your speed, I do host Happiness in Darkness, the superhero movie podcast. We discuss all superhero movies under the sun, and a certain Heather will be joining us to review The Incredibles this week. So we're going back into Pixar territory to do that. Also, Heather kindly mentioned Gold Standard, the Oscars podcast, where myself, Zan Sprouse, and Rachel Friend are reviewing all the Best Picture winners in chronological order. Next week, we're doing Gandhi. And the list goes on, because myself and Charles Skaggs can be found on the Fandom Zone, where we're currently reviewing Miss Marvel and all superhero TV shows and beyond. And Heather will be joining us on the Fandom Zone, alongside with Rachel Friend, to discuss the season and possible series finale of Miss Marvel.
Oh, I've got all the homework to do. I literally have to go get food, come home, watch the episode, and actually do real work today.
I don't want to work today. There's a song for you.
Yes, there is. I don't. Okay. But Holly, I know that you came over from that show, so thank you so much. We're happy to have you join us. So thank you. Awesome yourself. Willow, where can the fine folks find you?
Oh, okay, so
In the Upside Down.
Yeah, I am with the Back of the Cereal Box crew, so you can find me every Saturday morning on that. If you are up that early, 8 a.m.
There's an 8 a.m.?
There's a 5 a.m., folks. There's even a 4 a.m. So
On
yeah.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Or you can watch it in syndication.
Come have cereal and chat and nerdy stuff with us.
Nice.
Or you can find us right here on the Sideshow. You can go to facebook.com/Our Sideshow Life. You can find us on the Chaos Network. We're so excited to be part of this new network, and we're going to be doing all sorts of great things. This week, you can find me, the lovely Heather, bothering Nick multiple times throughout the week. And then on Friday, you'll actually find me in the Kitchen Killas kitchen. So go and find Kitchen Killas, kitchenkillas.com. So you'll see lots of us. We're in the process of planning their 5th anniversary party for August 12th. So please stay tuned. Oh my God, it's going to be like insane. And I can't wait to start telling you more about it. So stay tuned. But for that time being, thank you for following along with all of the spoilers that we've given. And while we just sit and pretty much have a conversation on camera, which we usually have on the phone. So it's great. We are still trying to work on getting more serious topic stuff happening soon. But for the time being, we're going to
there's a working logo, but we'll get it.
We have party hats on that are circus tents. Yes, and Willow's been working really hard to try to make us have something cool that you can enjoy. But we're just happy to be here and happy to keep you guys entertained, and join us every Wednesday sometime in the evening on Wednesdays. We kind of fluctuate if you want to watch us live. Otherwise, you can catch us on Facebook or on the Chaos Network, right on there, and YouTube and everywhere. Thank you. The Chaos Network with the side of chaos.com. So I hope you all have a crazy rest of your week, because there's no other way to have it. It's still pouring rain, and I'm going to go get food. So I hope you guys all have a good night. I will talk to you guys later.
Ciao.